Why do you think that despite an IT Act, the existing IT rules, deepfake video content, misinformation content are getting viral? Why do you think that the existing legal and law provisions that we have in this country are not having a deterrent impact on those people who are spreading these kind of deepfake content?
Today, we have in place the Information Technology Act, which is a 23-year-old legislation. So, trying to have outdated tools to deal up with new challenges is not a very fructifying approach. And that's the reason why the existing legal framework is not at all adequate to deal with the challenges of either regulation of artificial intelligence or to prevent the misuse of deepfakes. Therefore, the government is invariably now trying to look in the direction of intermediary liability, asking these service providers, you take steps, you take your self-regulation in place before we come in. But I think that's only a very stopgap arrangement, and it's only a very short-term arrangement. The real arrangement will be, let's have a dedicated law on artificial intelligence. Let's have a law which makes a deterrent crime when you go ahead and misuse deepfakes. Let's establish and elaborate the rights, duties, and responsibilities of various stakeholders in the AI ecosystem. And let's also come up for deterrent punishments for service providers who don't comply with minimum parameters of due diligence so as to ensure that their platforms are minimized as far as exposure to deepfake videos is concerned. So clearly, I think India has a lot of work to do. The existing legal frameworks are not going to help you. The IT rules 2021 are not at all adequate to deal with these new challenges. Yes, the government can now come up with new rules under Section 87 of the IT Act, specifying new parameters of due diligence that service providers have to adopt so as to minimize the publication or dissemination of deepfake on their platforms. But then merely having rules will not just suffice. You will also have the need to effectively enforce those rules till such time a new dedicated legislation on artificial intelligence and on preventing deepfake misuse arrives.
Right. And China has taken the lead in this direction. China is one of the first country to actually formulate a law to deal with deepfake content, to regulate artificial intelligence. Do you think government now should also start a process of developing a political consensus on a new framework for a law to regulate artificial intelligence in the country?
India has already emerged as the most populous nation in the world. So we have already become a thought leader thanks to our population. Now, but I'm finding that India is slightly running behind schedule. You have countries like China who have already implemented the world's first dedicated law on generative artificial intelligence. You have countries in the European Union who have already now negotiated a new draft AI law. You have states like New York in the US who have come up with a new law on artificial intelligence. So there's actually nothing preventing India from coming up with its new approach on AI. But what you now require is, let's not do a cut, copy, paste. Let's understand how these different legislations are working globally. Then come up with our own customized approach. Because of the huge nature of the Indian population, the chances of misuse of AI and misuse of deepfake in India are going to be massive. Until such time, you don't really come down with a strong hand and with appropriate clarity on the rules, rights, and responsibilities of various stakeholders, specifically the service providers, it's not going to be over. And more significantly, you cannot allow these service providers to be mere spectators. You have to change your law, change Section 79 of the IT Act, but make them mandatory that they will have to ensure that they will have to minimize the misuse of deepfake as is available on their platforms in terms of its distribution or dissemination.
Thank you very much for talking to NDTV. So in Delhi, with my camera colleague Azam Himanshu Shekhar for NDTV.